All right, so lately I've been working towards the ability to sell anything to anyone. This has been kind of like my birdhouse hobby. Now, I understand that because the word sell has so many negative connotations, that this probably doesn't sound like the most enlightened aspiration. But I simply want to be able to discern opportunities fairly easily in my everyday environments, and I want to be able to communicate to anyone why this is an opportunity worth participating in. Now, I'm of the conviction that this is a skill that can be exercised like a muscle. And the point of this video is to iterate that there are plenty of heroes out there to emulate in the pursuit of this proficiency. If we have the ambition to be coaching communicators, to be able to communicate with anyone new ideas in a way that feels familiar to them, then we too can join the ranks of the silver tongue legends out there that know how to alchemize syllables into billable goods and services. Take the legend Mac Miller. In the song 100 Grandkids, he admitted that he could not only sell water to a speedboat, but he could also sell snow to a ski slope. The man had no shortage of ways to make money. And to be honest, I don't know if we too could sell snow to a ski slope, but we could do our best. We can approach the opportunity with empathy, with creativity and strategy, the same way that we would approach any other opportunity that we intended to win. Now, what's the first thing to ask? What do ski slopes prioritize when it comes to snow? And why would they even bother importing snow when the resort does a pretty good job taking care of them? Because ski slopes are surrounded by other slopes, they are constantly living a life filled with comparisons. They have labels: diamond, double black diamond, bunny slope. They face competition from other resorts, and they also are dealing with different hands. Not all slopes have sunset views. So it may be fair to say that a slope wants to stand out. A slope wants to be the main attraction. Either a slope is on its way up, or it's constantly fighting to be the preferred way down. Now, there may be an introverted slope out there that has no interest in hosting any visitors. You may be able to sell this slope sleet, fertilized pine seeds, or maybe even Japanese whiskey. Now, to be honest, I think most slopes have probably made their peace. I mean, I don't think bunny slopes are looking up at the main attraction in envy, because there's a lot going on in front of the bunny slope. The bunny slope gets great joy being the introduction to a whole new generation of skiers and snowboarders. I think they get a great sense of satisfaction and joy watching the little ones stumble and get better and get back up the hill. So if you're selling snow to a bunny slope, you have to approach the situation with the understanding that these slopes want to provide the best possible introduction to newbies. So that might mean snow that provides the softest landing, or maybe snow that's colored pink like cotton candy so that visitors feel like they're living in a Dr. Seuss book as they're skiing down the slope. So selling snow to a bunny slope with the understanding that all they want to do is encourage the enthusiasm and interest of beginners is relatively straightforward in my opinion. Let's choose an example of a slope that is not quite the world's most interesting run, but it's not too shabby either. This slope wants to be the resort's favorite and wants to even rank among the state. We will confirm this understanding in the questions that we ask the slope, because it is always very lazy and risky to assume in any situation. Now, we would most likely need to go out and get the slope's attention, capture its curiosity and interest. I mean, unless you know some slopes personally, in which case I might ask you for a favor. To set up a meeting from a cold and non-existent relationship, we might have to do something bold. So what if we rented out an airplane with a banner and we flew that plane over the slope and the banner said, "What do you see when you see yourself in their ski goggles?" Much of the time, whether you're a slope, a person, or a pristine cherry blossom tree, the answer could very well be not enough. We are naturally pretty harsh critics of ourselves, and the more ingrained you are in an environment that encourages comparison, the more likely you will probably exaggerate the worst about yourself. So let's say our cold outreach was as effective as it was direct, and we have our meeting for next Friday. Now, I don't believe the slope really cares all that much what I think good snow is. I think the slope cares about what skiers and snowboarders think good snow is. So essentially, I outlined some thoughts in order to make sure that I am representing their voice and that I'm not imposing my opinion in the conversation. I'm going to show up with an exhaustive list of data from trade magazines, Google reviews, Yelp reviews, ski blogs. I'm going to learn what Olympic facilities do to make their slopes pristine. I'm going to come with results from polls from skiers and snowboarders themselves that I set up. The information will make it clear to the slope what snow they need to reach their goals of being world class. Because slopes are seasonal customers, I want to make sure that I'm this slopes guy year after year. So the amount of effort that I put in prepping for that conversation is absolutely warranted. If I'm a true beginner trying to close my first deal, I may have to add some additional amenities to really express how grateful I am that this slope took a chance on me. So some ideas that come to mind include paying for the SEO or advertisements that will help announce the slope's recent renovations to the skiing and snowboarding community. Maybe I can pay for some ski passes and accommodations for some influencers to come visit the slope. So that's the general strategy. If that works, great, I'll be sure to celebrate. But the snow deal was just a formal introduction to the business. In this scenario, we're not in the snow business. We are in the slope experience business. Yes, snow is foundational to a slope. I mean, without snow, a slope is just an ugly hill. We can also add heated ski lift seats so that people can't wait to go back on to the top. We can add half pipes and other toys for more extreme visitors to play with. We can give the slope a total makeover and redesign the landscape architecture of the slope itself to give people an entirely new experience year after year. We can solve for the relief of the pressure that this slope feels every single day in this competitive and cold world, and give it the tools to be everything that it wants to be. So that's pretty much it. I genuinely think that if we approach that problem in that way, we'd be off to a good start. I think there are always going to be unforeseen circumstances and objections that we have to handle, but I think that we're off to a great start. So I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to me, and I hope that we can work together on something else soon.